Okay, so we have opened our two files here. So we're gonna continue with the instruction. Row 2 in file home.csv. This is home.csv. So we're gonna look at row 2. Okay, first before we start, I'm gonna resize. So I just highlight everything by clicking here and then you double click. Okay, so row 2 is the location of the properties. So we have different locations like Ubud, Saminya, Lovina, and blah blah blah. Row 3 until row 8. So this few rows contains the name of the property. These files will be used to provide data for your spreadsheet and must not be changed. So do not type anything, do not change anything. Leave it as it is. And we're going to look at rate as well. So this is the rate file. So you can see it's rate.csv. So we have the code, number of people that can stay in a room, I presume. And then you have rate per night, whether breakfast is included or not. Okay, this is what we have. Minimize. Next, open list.csv. So we're gonna have list. Okay, put it aside, resize, like you see. Now in this, we have a title, list of suitable properties for your suitable location. So this one is according to the location, the room type, and we have number of people and breakfast provided. Maybe it's yes or no. And then you got 6. We don't know what is this, but we're going to continue to read the question. Data has been placed in cell B4 and B5. B4 and B5 is this. So this is the data to help you test your model. Place in the header, left align, the text list prepared by, followed by a space, your name, comma, center number, and candidate number. Then space, followed by on, followed by a space, and today's automated date. So this is what we're going to do. In order to make your header and footer visible, you can go to insert and then you can find for header and footer. Or for me, the easiest way is you have 3 different views in your Excel. So the first one is the normal view, which you are seeing now. And the second one is the one that we're going to use for header and footer. It's called page layout. So automatically you can type here. You have 3 sections for header. So they say left align. So I'm going to type at the left. List prepared by your name. You say followed by a space, so make sure you put space. I put comma, followed by a space on, and then followed by a space we already put today's automated date. Do not type. So at your Excel, under header and footer section here, ribbon here, you will find current date. Click this. So they will automatically give this. Okay, so it's automated. Now when I click out, the date will appear. So this is our header done. Next, save this as a spreadsheet with the name this. So file, save as. Make sure you know where you are saving your file. Okay, don't just do this. Click file and then you try to save as and then you type and then it's saved in Sri Sampurna OneDrive and you don't know where is it later on. So please make sure you know where you are saving this. So if I click this PC, it will go back to the folder that this CSV file is. If you don't want that, click on browse and make sure you choose the folder that you want to save this on. Probably it's download or it is in desktop. You choose your location. Okay, so mine is in desktop. I'm gonna save based on the name that they gave us. So it's 32131 BHH underscore center number, candidate number. Always never forget this. Save it as Excel workbook. If you save it as CSV, all your formatting and function will be gone. Okay, and in exam, no extra time will be given. Click save. Done. 3 marks. We're going to the next one. So I'm going to go back to the normal view. So this is what we are working at. So they want us to format the spreadsheet to look like this. So in this case, they gave us Ubud and Q. There's no data for number of people, breakfast provided, and all this. Please don't type anything. They just want us to format only, to make it look like this. They didn't ask us to type anything. Okay? So this is what they want. And if you can, please read the instruction that is given here as well. So they want us to format the merged cell A1 to B1. So which is this? And it is merged to look like this. They say contains white font. So we're going to change the color to white font. The size is 28 and the background is black. And when I look at it, it looks bold. So I'm going to bold this, Control B. And I want to change the font but stick to the same font family. Like in this case, there's no extra curves. So let's say give an example. So Times New Roman is serif font family. So you look at the Y, there's no extra curve, this one. But this one got like extra curves and A also. So obviously this is a sans serif font. So I'm gonna go for Arial. So look more alike. That is my first thing that I did. Then I usually go from column, then go for row, or choose the row, settle the row, then go for column. So but here it's obvious that A and B, the column width is almost the same. So I'm going to resize this first. I highlight A and B, then maybe around here, I just dragged. When you dragged, both of this will have the same size. If I want this big, both will be this size. Okay, I don't want this big. Okay, smaller. Okay, so it has some space on left and right. That's my column. And when I look at both these columns, I can see that all the words here are center aligned. So I'm going to change it to center. And I can make it into middle. So it's nicely arranged. All look center. Except for this. When I put center, look at what happened. But later. Now we finish our column already. I'm going to go row by row. So first row. Obviously first row is the largest compared to the others. So settle first row. Look at row 2. Row 2 is shorter. Almost half the size as row 3. So we're going to resize. So click at your row 2 and then drag it up. Drag up roughly. So now my row 2 is only this big. Okay. Row 3, it's merged. A3 and B3 is merged. So I'm going to merge first. And it's not very center aligned. I'm going to put it left. Okay. And it's bold. So Control B to bold it. So this is what we are working with. Row 4, nothing. Row 5, all look normal. Okay. So make sure you compare row 4 to row 15. Does it look exactly the same? It's like playing the game spot. Where's the difference? So you're going to make it the same. Now, all looks okay. But one thing is, all of this got border in our question paper. Here we don't have border. So I'm just going to select Control A. Or you can just highlight like this. And I'm going to put border. Now look, more like. Save. Always save your work, Control S. So this is 7 marks. Right, next. Enter a function. You cannot type. You need to put a function in B7. So here, which depending on the room type. So based on this, okay. So depending on the room type, look up. They say look up. This is the keyword. So we're gonna use a function called lookup. The number of person. So this is what we are looking for. From where? From the file rate. So this is the file that we are looking for. So I'm going to put these two files side by side. This is our rate file. So here, based on this, right? Based on room type. So it means that my room type, the code is Q. So this is Q. So since this is Q, the number of person should be 3, because here at the Q row you have 3 and the breakfast is yes. So that's what we should have. But now they only ask us to do 7, B7. That's the question, I think. Yeah, only for B7. So we do B7. So we're going to use lookup. So we have two types of lookup mainly, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Because we are looking from a table that is vertically arranged. Vertical. That's why we're going to use VLOOKUP. Okay, lookup value. What are we looking for? We are looking for Q, or whatever is in this cell, for a comma. Table array. From which table we are looking for? We are looking from this table. So you just highlight this table, comma. So what is the next thing that we want? Table array done. Okay, next we want column index number. So it means that, okay, now I look from this table, I already look for my Q. Which column number you want me to return? Now we are looking for number of person. Number of person is from the second column. Okay, so I'm gonna type 2. That one. It's either true or false. We want the exact match. So you want the exact match, then you type false. Close the column. Close the bracket. Enter. So you should get 3 automatically. Now I want to test my formula whether it's correct or not. I type A. So it should give me 2. Enter. So it will automatically change to 2. If I type U, it should give me 4. U. Oh, not Ubud. It's just U. Okay? Then your formula is working correctly. Your function is working correctly. Always save. Don't forget to save. You are done with the first question. Next, B8. So here, it has to return. Okay, this is what we're going to look for. Again, depending on the file type, display whether the breakfast is included or not. So this is about breakfast. This is what we want. And based on what? Using the same file that we used just now, which is rate. So going back to rate, so we're going to use the function. We look up based on what? Based on this, comma, table array is from this table, comma. Next one is column index number. Which column? Column 1, 2, 3, 4. We want it to return the 4th column, and we want the exact answer. So yes, that is breakfast. Check. Yes, that's breakfast. If I change to R, it should give me no breakfast. Always check your function after you put it. Always. So done. Next, B10 to B15. So which from here to here must display the number of all properties in the location entered in B4. So based on this now. So I'm gonna highlight up the location. So it's gonna depend on value in B4. Depending, I'm gonna put green. Okay, if there are less than 6 properties available in that location, cell not displaying property name should be blank. So, example, look back at, I think this one. Yeah, this is the file. This is home. So this is where we had our properties look and based on location. So in this case, we got 5 property. But here, in our this, they want 6. So that means it will only display until here. This one will get error because not enough. So they want us to put make sure it's blank when you have not enough properties. So it's going to be a if function. If you don't have anything, you leave it blank. If you have something, then you're going to show it. Okay? But before we put if, we're going to try the function first. Okay, next, enter a formula in cell B10. Where's B10? Here. That display the first property and then replicate this formula to B11 to B15. Okay, so we're going to do one first. We are working with this part. I'm going to put it at the side. Okay, so this is a table that is arranged horizontally. How do I know? I am referring to information from top to bottom. Like this one, we had our rate from left to right. So this is vertically arranged. So this is top to bottom, so it's a horizontal table. So instead of using VLOOKUP, we're going to use H lookup. What are we referring depending on what? Depending on the location. From which table? We are referring from this table. So I'm going to highlight here. Okay, comma, row index, which row number we want to return. So based on our selection of table, we started from B2. So our row 2 is our first row. We want it to return, which is next to it, row 3. So that's our second row. So we want it to return the second row and we want it to be false. Enter. So this is what we get, Taman Vilas. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to copy and try to paste on the next one. So when I paste, the row number is not changing. So we are going to do this. Instead of typing the values, when I copy paste, I get error because it's all referring to the second one, second row. Okay, and one more thing is, it is not fixed. It's not referring to Ubud anymore. So that means that I need to lock my default. So I'm gonna lock. So this will become absolute referencing. Now I copy and paste. So everything is returning Taman Vilas. Okay. Okay, let me see the question first. They ask you to refer to column A. They didn't ask you to refer to column A. So what I'm going to do is, if you want, you can change manually this to number 3, then number 4, number 5. But I want to work smart a bit. So what I'm going to do is, this number plus 1. Because we are referring to the second row. Here is 1. So when I plus 1 become 2. So we refer to the second row. So when I enter, it's actually referring to the second row. Can you see? So automatically it's Samara Vilas, and then Adivana, and then Alaya, and then Adivana again. But this one is 0. We don't want 0 because it has nothing there, because it's empty. So the question says that if you don't have property, you leave it blank, correct? So this is where we're gonna put formula, right? And we're gonna test. We're gonna put if function. If the return of this is equals to 0, then we want to leave it blank. If not, then we want this to return. So we just copy this whole formula, paste, underscore, right? So it's empty. Okay, so we're gonna copy this to the whole formula. So now, let me explain the formula again. If the return is equals to 0, because just now, without the if, it gave me 0 because we had no property. So if it is 0, then it should be empty. This is how you make it empty. The If it's not empty, then return whatever you find. So it's gonna be a property name. So I'm gonna test now. So we have Lovina. So I should only have two properties. So we have Lovina. So, see? Only two. Okay, let's try with something that has six properties. So this one got count six. Nusa dua. So we got six properties. So this is the function that you should be typing. Going back to boot. Save. Done. 11 marks on question 8. Save your spreadsheet. Saved. Done. Print your spreadsheet showing the formula. To show formula, go to formulas and then click on show formula. Okay, never just print this because if you see, you cannot completely see the function. So always and always, listener. So you select everything, resize. Okay, always resize. Then go back. I'm gonna put it at the side. That's what I meant by go back. So they want you to show formula and there's a few settings that we need to do. So press Ctrl P. First thing is it has to be landscape. So we're going to change the orientation to landscape. Row and column heading is displayed. That means it needs to show the alphabet that's at the top and the number on the left. So you just go to page setup. You will see head sheet. Then you click on row and header, row and column heading. Make sure it's ticked. Then you can go to content of all cells are fully visible. They didn't say put everything in one page. So please don't cram everything into one page because when you print, if you cram everything to one page, it's going to be very difficult to see your functions. Okay, so just leave it as it is. How many pages you have, just print it out. So that's it, done. So this is your printout tool. Please save this. So in exam, you send it for printer, but now we are not going to print. Just save this. So mine is in desktop. I'm going to save it as P2. This is my printout tool. So they say make sure your name, contact number, and candidate number on the spreadsheet showing formula. After you save, always check. So I'm going to go back to P2, open. Because if you send to your printer without your candidate number and details, the paper will not be given to you because we don't know it belongs to who. So both my pages have the information because we put in the header and the function is fully visible. We can close this, done, 2 marks. Next, printing again. Go back. Print showing values. That means we doesn't need this formula anymore. You can go back to your formula, click again, show formula, it will be gone. Again, resize. So in this case, just now we resized our AB to have the same width. So I highlight again and then make it to have the same width. Save, Ctrl P. Okay, print out on a single portrait page. That means everything should be in one page and it has to be portrait. Change to portrait. And then everything in one page. By default, it should be in one page. Let's say you scan, then you just click on feed on one page. So it will make everything in one page. Next, row and column heading are not displayed. So you go back to your page setup, feed, disable this, press OK. So it shouldn't have your numbers and your alphabets. Content is fully visible, so just double check. So everything is fully visible. Then save this as your P3. Save. Double check. So saving. Close. again. Okay, it's there. Every one page only, and everything is fully visible. Close. Next, change the data to produce a list of properties with room type of G in Nusa Lembongan. So we're going to change the location to Nusa Lembongan, and the room type is G. Enter. Save. Print a spreadsheet showing the values. Make sure. Okay, so Control P. It's a portrait. Everything is in one page because they asked for single portrait page. Next, row and head column heading not displayed. Yes, and that's it. So we're gonna P4. P. So this whole task is 34 marks. So we are done with our task 5.